That's the foundations of the Salt Lake Temple, bro.
Oh my gosh. Are you really suggesting that the foundations of the Salt Lake Temple are a Tartarian mud flood conspiracy theory proof?
So how the hell did the Hindus do that?
If their civilization stopped, where'd they go?
These are leftover from the Tartarian Empire.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Midnight Mormons. I am your host, Cardin Ellis, and today I'm joined in the studio by Kwaku L, Brad Whitbeck, and Brittany the Shadow to talk a little bit about the Book of Mormon actually being the lost land of Tartaria. Am I getting that right, Kwaku?
Well, sort of. So,
yeah. Do expand, my friend. I thought it was at the narrow isthmus of land, but apparently it's in Central Asia. Okay, keep going.
Well, so basically, there's Tartaria, or Tartary, a land that supposedly existed and contained a lot of, a high tech and a lot of technology that would seem very extremely progressive for the day.
Okay.
But they're called Tartarian truthers, and Tartarian truthers are the individuals who believe that there have been waves of technology that have existed anciently that have been destroyed through many what you would call great resets.
But I love the rhetoric. But no, there's been lots of lost civilizations that have been found. I mean,
yes,
technology has a tendency to lose itself more than to improve itself, even according to modern techno-geniuses like Elon Musk. So keep going.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, a lot of people who believe in Tartaria also believe in Atlantis and Lemuria and, those lost places. And it turns out Tartaria or Tartary appears on a lot of medieval maps.
Okay.
An incredible amount of medieval maps. Now, some people say it's, it's equivalent to like a Gotham City. It's like a fake place people knew about. Others say it actually did exist, and it turns out that, many places that were said to be fake were just sunken cities, and we have entire sunken cities underground.
Okay.
So, as I started learning about Tartaria, I was like, well, lost cities, lost civilizations.
Yeah, that sounds kind of familiar.
Book of Mormon. I wonder how the Book of Mormon fits into this whole equation. Well, Tartarians believe that around biblical the New Testament period, the Americas, as well as Tartary, were full of large-scale cities. We're talking they envied Rome. We're talking they were massive. Now, the only one who could be Mormons, we tend to downplay it. Well, it could have just been like Native American to people who hate the Book of Mormon.
Yeah,
these guys would say that we're weak and we don't own it.
Yes, I like.
No,
these
it
guys.
was massive. It was big as Egypt, even bigger.
And
that's
so
what they believe. Yeah.
The question that comes up from this is like, okay, if it was this big, where did it all go? Right? Like, where are all of these buildings? If the Tartarians were just like, if their civilization stopped, where'd they go?
Yeah, so let's just really fast for all audience here. Let's throw up the basic Wikipedia the Wikipedia definition, because Wikipedia never lies. But anyway, Tartary, was a blanket term used in Western Europe literature and cartography. And for all of you progmos out there, that's the study, use, and creation of maps. For a vast part of Asia bounded by the Caspian Sea. Wow, there's a guy that works in pest control. Caspian Sea, Ural Mountains, and Pacific Ocean, all right? It says here that in the modern English-speaking tradition, the region was formerly known as Tartary, or Inner or Central Eurasia, and ignorance surrounding Tartary's use as a place name has spawned conspiracy theories, including ideas of a hidden past and mud floods. Oh, there's mud floods.
Oh, brace yourself for the mud floods, Cardin.
Oh, really? Did I just land? Did I stumble upon
the mud flood is
landmine?
what brings us together.
Okay.
Basically, if you're a Tartarian truther, you
By the
believe.
way, look at Brittany. She's like literally just like looking at you like,
I've never heard of this, so
if you're no, this is like this is not a new conspiracy, but it's gaining prominence again.
Okay.
Because all the conspiracy bros have to like outdo each other, so they're all digging into like weird, bizarre
But
books.
is this a conspiracy, dog? Jeffrey Epstein was a conspiracy until it was found to be true.
Yeah, this one's a lot more far fetched, but there are some things that really make you.
Kwaku, this is real.
This is real. Well,
is
real.
There's a thing called the mud flood theory. And the mud flood theory was that.
Maybe before the mud flood theory, let's talk about Tartarian architecture.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So Carden,
Okay.
I want you to pull up real quick Tartarian architecture. There's something you see on the map that you have that you had brought up earlier. It's kind of in Eastern Europe. There's a bit of a vibe of like Tartarian architecture includes a lot of like pillars, a lot of domes.
Oh, let's see what Bloomberg has to say about this. Check this out.
Yeah, look at those beautiful buildings, right?
Oh, that's a gorgeous. It's almost super Art Deco. Like there's a lot of Los Angeles looks like that. Let me see. It says.
And why do you think a lot of Los Angeles looks like that?
Oh, did I just stumble upon something, dude? It says, okay, believers in the Tartaria conspiracy theory are convinced that the elaborate temporary fairgrounds built for events like the Panama Pacific International Exposition in San Francisco in 1915 were really the ancient capital cities of a fictional empire.
So before you let Bloomberg ruin this, think about this. All of these crazy, beautiful buildings are showing up in these different places where they're what? Building log cabins? You mean to tell me they're building these beautiful edifices? No, these are Tartarian leftovers.
Look up Chicago.
Okay.
They
Chicago
just moved
World
into.
Fair. Look up the Chicago World Fair like 1912 or something like that.
Okay.
This will blow your mind.
So here we've got basically this big giant worldwide event that was in 1915 in San Francisco. And now you want me to go and you want me to look up the Chicago World Fair of what, 1915?
Type in 19, it should come up.
19. There's 1933, 1950. I'm going with 1933.
I think that it's even earlier. It's like 1919 or something.
Chicago World Fair in 1893, the White City. Oh, look at this.
This was apparently like equivalent to, I don't know. Well, it was massive. That structure, that's not the Chicago's capital. That building right there was apparently built in a couple weeks and then was destroyed after because it was only temporary.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of cool. Let's check this one out. Relics of the World's Fair Chicago, Atlas Obscura. Wow. Okay.
Now, that is that. But let's not like they had, we've seen The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
They could build tents and easy, theatrical structures.
Okay, yeah.
They were building. We don't even make stuff like this today.
That's
and you're meaning
true.
to tell me they made this in a couple weeks for a temporary event, and then they just destroyed it all because they don't need it anymore.
Wow.
And you start looking into this, you realize they were doing this all over the world. These random pop-up cities that are beautifully, beautifully detailed.
So what's the claim here?
So the claim is
okay.
These already existed. These are left over from the Tartarian Empire or Tartarian transplants.
Well, then why take them down?
Because of the Great Reset of 1900.
Well, and how are they found all over the world?
Because the Tartarian Empire was vast.
Yeah, and basically, if you're Tartaria has two meanings. The first meaning is the land of Tartary, which was a high-tech civilization.
Okay.
The second meaning is Tartaria, meaning the world as we know it was more advanced than we think it is now. The world as we know it, China, Africa, South America, Europe, had giant structures. We have reached at least a 19th century level of architecture and technology multiple times, and then evil people have destroyed it to reset society so they could be the richest ones.
Look, if you're trying to convince me that 1990s was peak American culture and that it's only gone downhill from there, I think there's a lot of people that will start to agree with you. No,
when you start looking at these structures, you go, that, like, we why don't we build?
Okay, so here's Bloomberg and the rest of the neocons.
So, Carden, before you get into that,
okay,
pull up the Brownstone picture that I just posted in the
Discord.
In the Discord, yeah. First, the Brownstone one.
Okay, I will totally look it up, and then oh my gosh, there's a mud flood picture.
Not that one.
Right?
Not
not that one.
No, the Brownstone below it.
Okay,
and then that one.
I'm gonna pull up the Brownstone building first. Then here's the Brownstone building, which you so elegantly posted a picture meant for ants. Look at that thing. It's so tiny. We're going to make it bigger for the audience. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the big brown
What do you
step.
notice about the front door?
The front door is at the end of a stoop.
At the end of a staircase?
Yeah, at the end of a staircase.
Why would you have to build a staircase up to that door? What is next to the staircase?
Next to the staircase is a window to
So-
the bottom level.
And why do these doors look like they were once windows?
Now pull up the next picture.
Now pull up the next picture. Okay, I'm going to pull up the next picture. Here's the next picture. Mud flood worldwide Coverup.
Look, see the brownstone looking building-esque? The
Yeah.
door up there. Look what's beneath it when you
Oh,
unearth the
there's a
foundations.
door.
Yeah.
So apparently this is all over the United States.
Really?
All of the cities from the 18th century. You
So
have
there
these-
was, instead of Noah's flood being of water, it was like there was a giant mud flood that covered up all of the greatness of the Tartarian Empire.
Essentially, yeah. And so when you ever see buildings that are on like a slope like that, you know it's a
Yeah.
mud flood building. But basically, you're finding these aren't basements. There's entire other levels of these buildings in D.C., California, all over the country, where the door, like, there's more. There's more. And literally, the ground level was raised, so they converted windows into doors. But as they're doing excavation, they're finding there's entire other stories underneath, and you're finding the actual door. And it's not one building. Hundreds of buildings are like this. It's really, really weird. I haven't found an actual, like, reasonable explanation for any of this other than, as people wanted, they just decided to cover things up because it was easier. But you're going, wait, the ground level was rising? When did we have a mass ground level raise between 1850 and now? How come that's not documented? And
Okay.
so this is called mud flood, and mud flood and Tartaria are together. Okay.
Okay.
Now you might be asking yourself, Kwaku, Cardin, Brad, Brittany, The Shadow, how on earth wouldn't there be people who know about this? We would have records and diaries of people who are saying, hey, by the way, they're trying to cover up our society and reset us and lie about everything. Well, the theory here's where it gets creepy.
The lizard people ate those people.
No, this is a lizard.
No.
This is actually a lizard people free theory, but I know I'd make a lot of money if I found a way to rope them in and wrote a book about it. So, basically, I hope that statement doesn't come back to haunt me. Yeah. Basically, there is around the time of Tartarian conspiracists believe that the last Great Reset happened. Tartaria was too vast and wide to destroy without creating an apocalypse. So they decided they'll use technology, weather technology, to have mass amounts of rain and raise mud, and they have to somehow get all the richest people in the world on board with this.
Okay.
And the richest families in the world were having a meeting in New York City
Okay.
to discuss literally the future of the world. And there were three people who vocally opposed this idea of a reset. Isidor Straus, Jacob Guggenheim, and what's the other guy?
Elon Musk.
No, not Elon Musk. It's a different rich guy.
Okay.
And as they were coming to New York City to meet, they all died on a boat called the Titanic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
And where it gets even creepier is this. Essentially, they needed to find a way to wipe the memories of the people whose society, of the dominant country the world would revolve around.
Okay.
Because, if there's a guy in the Philippines who's like, let me tell you, we used to have technology that was, they would go, okay, whatever. But you got to at least find a way to get the mainstream on board. So look up the Orphan Trains.
What? Are you kidding?
These are real.
This is real.
The Orphan Train.
This is real, dude.
Really weird.
The strangest thing.
Okay, so here's a picture of the Orphan Trains right here. Wanted, homes for children. And look, here's a picture of an orphan train. And Wikipedia shows that the Orphan Train movement was a supervised welfare program that transported children from crowded eastern cities of the United States to foster homes located largely in rural areas of the Midwest. The Orphan Trains operated between 1854 and 1929. Jeez, that's like 80 years. relocating about 250,000 children. That's 250,000 children. The co-founders of the Orphan Train movement claimed these children were orphaned, abandoned, abused, or homeless, but this was not always true. They were mostly children of new immigrants and children of the poor and destitute families living in these cities. Oh my gosh, this is a massive dislocation program.
Guess what? Guess what they did? They gave all the kids new names. So think about that. If you're literally trying to reset society, okay, and let's say all the people who freaked out about Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, and they're trying to take children away from their parents and not let you have rights to raise your own children, and they're going to brainwash them by the state. This literally already happened in American history.
Well, I mean, look at this. 3 charitable institutions, Children's Village, the Children's Aid Society, and the New York Founding Hospital endeavored to help these children. The institutions were supported by wealthy donors and operated by professional staff. Wow, if wealthy donors and professional staff never mixed together like nitrogen and glycerin to create any kind of disaster.
And then they just loaded people onto trains and put them in a better spot, right? That's never gone bad.
I mean, this, like, look at this. This is really kind of like freaky, compelling stuff. Here's a picture of Orphan Train number 1. Oh my gosh. And then Wanted. Homes for children.
Wait, why are they orphans? Like, where are their
They call them orphans. Like, oh, they don't have any parents. So let's take them and raise them by
kidnapped kids.
Well, sometimes they were from poor communities, and we're not sure exactly what. I mean, the accusation, according to Wikipedia, is
pretend this happened today, but it was orchestrated by Hillary Clinton. You would have zero excuses. You would be like, "Yes, say."
Well, if the professional staff was accidentally falling and shooting itself in the back of the head for a second time after promising to leak the details before, I'd be like, "Wow." This is absolutely nuts. I mean, they were off. Okay, wow, this is crazy. So let me make sure I get this right. You're suggesting that the Orphan Train movement is evidence of a cover-up in which wealthy elites tried to make these orphan trains basically relocation and dislocation and disposal sites for kids that knew the truth.
No, not necessarily knew the truth. It was just that they needed a way to start brainwashing society.
Okay.
Give them new names and teach them a new history of the world.
Okay. And so the claim is then that these orphan trains were basically engaging in a great reset of the 20th century instead of the 21st century. And that the architecture, as suggested by Brad Whitbeck, of these old brownstone buildings that shows kind of some unexplained doors where there, are supposedly windows and basically a first story that could have been covered up by a flood is evidence of this proverbial mud flood that covered the world and destroyed the evidence of the land of Tartaria.
But the thing is, not all here. I'm about to blow your mind. I'm about to blow all of your minds.
So I got 2 questions for you. After you blow our minds, what this has to do with the Book of Mormon, and then second off, can I show you some counterpoints? Let's keep going. Okay.
So
first, one more mud flood
my
picture.
mind is made up, Cardin, and nothing will change it.
Okay.
So here's where it gets crazy. The first one is this.
Okay.
With this reset that they propose. One, they couldn't get rid of all the evidence of the ancient world. First, he saw the structures that they had to cover up and pretend were newly built.
Okay.
And you said people who, they remember. They know it was handed down. They have the information. Well, when you start having to vet every single book, when you have mass book burnings, which occurred back then, mass book burnings that occurred.
Yeah.
You could pretty easily start shaping the future. And at least by 1970, you have an entire different history. But the only way people would be able to have the truth about the advancement of the ancient world is if there was some group that created a breakaway society in the middle of nowhere, unaffected by these orphan trains, that had a history or record of an ancient society that was far more technologically advanced. They would be the only ones to be able who could actually fight against this plan.
Oh, so you're suggesting that Lehi and his family was the sleeper cell that escaped the Great Reset of the previous centuries in order to preserve the history of Tartaria?
Well, I would say more Brigham Young.
Sorry, I'm sorry, not
Brigham
Lehi
Young,
and his family. Yeah,
the
I
church,
apologize.
Which is literally, our church is a breakaway civilization. 100% that's what it is. Breakaway civilization, middle of the desert. We have the books about the ancient technology, the ancient Book of Mormon. Guess what was here once? Guess what was here once? Don't forget it. As the orphans are getting new names and relearning all the history. Now, there are still maps of Tartary. There's all this stuff still. But it is really interesting that you've got where now is nothing, the Chicago World Fair, which looks like downtown Boise, Idaho.
Yeah.
Built in a week. All over.
Is
Argentina has it. Everywhere has it.
Wait, there's Tartarian
For
stuff
sure.
in Argentina?
Oh, for sure.
La Casa Rosada?
This picture that you're looking at right now,
Yeah.
that's in Australia.
Okay, so I'm going to put this on the screen so all of our audience can see it. You're suggesting that all of this understructure is evidence of a mud flood.
I don't
if
know about this
understand you
picture,
correctly.
but I do know the ones I have seen, and it is weird that in all these major cities,
Okay.
whenever they excavate, there's like 3 floors below that are not a basement. It's like that was the rest of the building.
Okay, well,
nobody
come on.
has explained
That's the
that.
way the Bat Cave is, and we all know the Bat Cave is real. So here's my suggestion. I entertain this idea of there being lost civilizations and especially lost technologies that we don't understand, because technologies have a tendency to lose themselves, just like our health does. It almost seems like we're built to destroy our own personal healths, and unless we work really, really hard at it, we don't keep ourselves healthy. The same thing goes for technology. And I know somebody else very important and very intelligent agrees with me. Let's just listen to what Elon Musk had to say on the topic a second ago.
1969. Pizza. In 1969, we were able to send somebody to the moon. 1969. Then we had the space shuttle. The space shuttle could only take people to low Earth orbit. Then the space shuttle retired, and the United States could take no one to orbit. So that's the trend. The trend is like down to nothing. This is not. People are mistaken when they think that technology just automatically improves. It does not automatically improve. It only improves if a lot of people work very hard to make it better. And actually, it will, I think, by itself degrade, actually. You look at great civilizations like ancient Egypt, and they were able to make the pyramids, and they forgot how to do that. And the Romans, they built these incredible aqueducts. They forgot how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty intense right there. I mean, Elon Musk brings up some really good points. We can find the ruins of these civilizations that lost the collective knowledge of how they even built their own ruins before their civilizations collapsed. And that's why they say civilization dies with a whimper instead of a big bang, right? So I entertain the idea of there being lost civilizations and technologies. At the same time, I do not engage in historical presentism or arrogance towards the people before me, thinking they're idiots, or that everything must be a conspiracy against them, because take a look at this video right here. This always blew my mind. It's hard for me to believe in a mud flood when I can look at an 8-story, 11-ton Indiana Bell building getting rotated 3 inches a day on tracks that the city built for it to rotate it 90 degrees as they wanted to change a street that was running through that area. I mean, look at these amazing things that human beings can do when they put their engineering minds towards it. By the way, did you know that everybody reported to work in that building as it was moved? It moved 3 inches a day for like 6 months or something like that. And everybody reported to work inside of that building, connecting telephone wires and stuff like that, the whole time the building was moving. So if Brad is saying that this picture right here of the brownstone that has doors and windows in an inconspicuous place might be evidence of a mud flood worldwide cover-up, how would he react perhaps to this building slowly getting moved and then ending up in a spot where, oh my gosh, why are the windows 90 degrees from where they were supposed to have been before? I think we could easily engage in a little bit of historical arrogance, right?
Carden, that's what they want you to think. Now look at this video that I have. Look at this new evidence that I've posted in the Discord, okay?
Okay, I'm going to look at the new evidence that is posted in the Discord. Oh my gosh, man, you guys make me nervous here.
Look at this
okay?
uncovered foundation of
Okay,
That's a big
so-
one for Tartarian truthers. Is the
This one is a big one for Tartarian truthers, you say?
the Salt Lake Temple?
Shut up. This is a picture of the Salt Lake Temple.
That's the foundations of the Salt Lake Temple, bro.
Oh my gosh, are you really suggesting? Are you suggesting that the foundations of the Salt Lake Temple are a Tartarian mud flood conspiracy theory proof?
Are you going to tell me that those Mormons crossed all the way across the plains and built that in the middle of the desert?
Okay, and also, did Governor Boggs, was it the extermination order? Was that because of Tartaria?
Oh,
To exterminate, to get rid of them?
I'm now just going to start adding that on. I've done no research into it, but I'm going to choose to believe it. Now,
So check it out.
The best
There it is.
thing.
And look at the Salt Lake Temple itself.
wow. Okay.
Look at it. Show the picture.
Okay.
Do you see the evidence of Tartarian architecture like we've discussed?
Well, it is almost
Well,
as
that-
beautiful
not
as
necessarily
the
that
Chicago
one.
World's Fair. And
And to be fair, the Salt Lake Temple is being renovated right now. Like, we generally do that.
That's what they want you to think, Kwaku.
that's just because your ancestors were on that orphan train and they got their memory wiped and they don't remember the mud flood.
Well, here's the thing, though. I will
Okay.
say mud flood is about as believable as mass building rotators. It's also a somewhat unbelievable schizophrenic sentence.
No, it's not. No, that's real. Look at this. This is a video.
Yeah, I know, but
These
here's
So
the
is
thing, here's the thing.
Tartaria.
Like, an average person has never heard of that. It looks almost Charlie Chaplin and silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We've
really
never
good.
learned about that in history
That looks
either, as
pretty
much as we also never
Photoshopped to
learned
me,
about like,
Carden.
the freaking orphan trains. So the point is, though, weird stuff has happened throughout our history, and we're not taught the full story. And when you don't have the full story, you kind of come up with these theories. But I was never taught about mass building rotators.
No.
Until
Never-
today.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why have we not been taught about that?
That's true because they were trying to cover up the Great Reset of the 19th century.
And how long have we had these? Did they have them in ancient Rome?
I don't know. That's a good question. So what do we do with all this information now? I'm
I
questioning.
mean, both can be
everything.
true. Both can be true.
That is the right move,
Okay,
Carden.
how about this?
Question everything. Question it more.
Mud flood is true. If we can prove that all these buildings had these little whatever railroad track whatever things underneath.
Okay.
Okay, mud flood's fake. But if they didn't, it is weird that you have that. And also, it's weird that they're building cities in a week and then destroying them and saying, don't ever think about it. And it's weird that there are orphan trains.
Okay, it's definitely weird that there were
And it's
orphan
weird there's
trains.
maps that say Tartaria and Tartary. And it's also weird that ancient technology is written about plentifully in the ancient world. The Vimanas of Hinduism, which are literal flying ships. Now, Brad, try this, okay? People will say, Kwaku, that's just mythology. That's just mythology. Okay, so they're writing about things, and they're in the Stone Age, Bronze Age, okay? Bronze Age.
Okay.
And they're writing about stuff that doesn't even exist yet in our age, okay?
True
So
that.
so they're what? They're in the what's the next age going to be? Do you know?
Iron Age?
Okay. No. You think?
What are you talking about?
Like the
how
next
specific
age.
are you looking for?
Like let's keep getting more advanced, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What would you call the next age?
Are you going for the information age?
Okay, let's say information age. I'm not going for anything specifically.
Okay.
Now, what would be the age after that?
Oh, if we're
Maybe
in the
the AI
information
age?
age, yeah, maybe they'll call it the AI age.
Okay.
Maybe they're going to call it the
Now
age.
go 3 more ages after the AI age.
We have no idea because they're probably going to use words that aren't even
Exactly.
invented yet.
So now try to write fantasy based on 3 ages, but 3 ages after the
you
AI
can't.
age.
There's no way of predicting.
So
it.
how the hell did the Hindus do that? How did they do it? We can't do that now. You're expecting me to believe that Bronze Age people were writing about stuff that we don't even have now?
So
How?
to push back on that, are you going to say, like, if someone goes 400 years from now, they figured out teleportation, and then they, like, watch Star Trek, and they're like, look, they had it back then, too! Like, I can see that being a thing.
There's only one answer.
So
you can come
think-
up with airplanes.
You think Indian time travelers have really had the fix on the society by coming back and forth to the ancient Hindu world and writing stuff in?
I mean, an airplane is easy to come up with. If you watched
No.
birds fly...
The Vimana.
Oh, wait, you're right. Never mind. Okay, I'm in.
The Vimana is a weird...
I'm
you know-
in. They shoot lasers. Couldn't come up with that.
What about the land bridge?
I've
The
never
bridge
seen
across the
lightning
sea?
ever in my life. What?
The bridge across the sea that ancient Hindus apparently built that had no evidence until we recently discovered through the LiDAR
That they
technology.
used monkeys to build? Half monkeys.
I don't know about that.
You
but
don't know about that part? Oh, you should look into that part.
Oh, wow.
It's human-animal hybrids, Kwaku. How do you not know this
it's
part?
crazy.
I can sum this up. The answer is Elon Musk. He's an alien. He lived in Tartaria, and now he's here, and he does time travel, and there we go.
Okay, cool. You know, I'm with Brittany on this one. Before we go, though, there's one little last notice I'll give. You know that they absolutely hate it when they write articles like this. Inside the Tartarian Empire, the QAnon of architecture.
I hate that term QAnon.
I know, like, you know,
it's overused.
By the way, I am more tempted to think that something's real, verifiable. The second somebody
When they dismiss
says
it like that.
yeah, when the second they call it QAnon, I'm like, you know what? I just gave it more credence. I literally just gave it more credence because it means it challenges some kind of theory that they're making money off of. And now I actually have to research it because they called it QAnon. So if it's the QAnon of architecture and it says on YouTube videos and Reddit boards, adherents of a bizarre conspiracy theory argue that everything you know about the history of architecture is wrong. If they're writing subheadings and headings like that, we got to study it. So let us know what you guys think. If you're on board with Mudflood or Tartaria, and even like 1%, we want to know why and what evidence you got, because the second they call it QAnon of architecture, it's like, I'm in, baby. I'm in. You know what I'm saying? This is Midnight Mormons. See you in the next program. Hey guys, Cardinellis here. Thanks for watching our show. Before you go to our next video, I want to take care of a couple of things. First, could you please make sure that you are subscribed to this channel? And before you move on, if you're already subscribed, please make sure that you've also clicked on the bell icon next to the subscribe button so you are, quote, notified of all of our postings. If you don't click on that bell, you may only see an occasional upload of ours. Also, if you could please share this with a friend, with a family member, with a coworker. All you have to simply do is press that share button and then SMS text it or email the link to one of your friends and say, hey, I thought this was funny. What did you think? And it's going to help our channel grow even that much more. If you have yet to press that like button, please smash the like button. Thank you for participating in our channel. We'll see you in the next program.